NPC.
Life's rough.
When you depend on me.
To give you weapons, items, armor, information for your journey, and still you just want shit to try to hurt me. Life's tough.
When you're an NPC.
Life's rough.
So, the next game on the request list just happens to be the next World of Darkness game that I wanted to talk about. So, guess it works out well for all parties. Wraith the Oblivion is a strange game, to say the least. An experimental game released for the original World of Darkness line, Wraith came out around the time that World of Darkness had really picked up steam and was ready to try some new and inventive things. Wraith was an interesting choice by World of Darkness, White Wolf Publishing. They certainly wanted to try some new things now that they had actually established themselves. And as such, this game is really a game that was meant to be created for very hardcore players, let's say. Not just in terms of complicated rules, though that certainly was the case, but also the source material was, shall we say, esoteric. Wraith is a strange game, as it is a game that is clearly meant for an insular crowd. It is a game that is geared towards the World of Darkness community, and is almost the antithesis to a gateway game like Dungeons & Dragons or Vampire the Masquerade. Games like Vampire, Mage, and Werewolf are all phenomenal games, and games that are a really easy sell whenever you bring it up to someone who isn't a World of Darkness fan. Hey, do you want to play a game where you're a vampire, or a werewolf, or a modern-day mage? Yeah, of course you would want to. That sounds fun. Do you want to be a ghost, or a non-corporeal creature, diving deep into the concepts of the psyche as a means of escaping the ethereal plane and into the afterlife? It's a bit harder of a sell. The game's creator and the Gary Gygax of the World of Darkness universe, Mark Reinhagen, wanted to create a unique experience with Wraith. The idea being that he wanted his players to feel uncomfortable. He wanted to challenge both the storyteller and the players at every turn, and to explore different facets of role-playing that the general stuff just never really dived into. Which is certainly commendable. I hit hard whenever we talk about things like accidentally creating a game for a very niche market, but really there is a lot of respect if you are aware of the fact that you are selling to a niche market and do everything you can to placate that niche market. Respect aside though, this is still a rough game and one that can turn off players quick if you don't have the right storyteller or players at the helm, and tragically with a game like this, they can sprout up more often than great ones. And that really is the problem with games like this, is that Wraith is a challenge. It's a challenge for storytellers, it's a challenge for players, and sometimes people don't want to be challenged. Sometimes they just want a simple role-playing game. As such, they dive back into their comfort zones, their vampires, their werewolves, their mages, and leave Wraith the Oblivion to collect dust on the shelf. The game is definitely a double-edged sword when it comes to players. It is a huge blob of concepts that are executed great, but designed to be problematic, and can also turn off players as well. Take the shadow aspect of Wraith. So, as stated, Wraiths are recently dead people who have not made peace with their past, and have yet to move on to the afterlife. The goal of the game is to make peace with one's past and transcend to the next world, while gathering the energy from the emotions of the living as sustenance. The ultimate goal is to avoid oblivion, as the title suggests, which is the concept of entropy in itself, a churning void of death and destruction. Your player is split into two personalities, your psyche and your shadow. Your psyche is your personality, while your shadow is an aspect of your personality that does not want you to succeed and wants you to succumb to the force of destruction and madness. And here's the shit kicker about that. Your shadow is actually supposed to be played by a member of the group that you're playing with. And sadly, most groups tend to have that one player. That one friend who you like playing with, but can honestly screw you over royal just for the lulz. The rogue who withholds vital information, or the sniper refusing to take a shot because you beat them in a game of cards earlier. Imagine that person having control of the aspect of your character that is actively attempting to get you to fail the game and die. This is just one of several examples of why Wraith the Oblivion is, well, rough. Not only that, this is a game about non-corporeal entities. As such, while it takes place in modern day, unlike the other games where you spent a lot of your time in the human world, our world, you spend a lot of this game in the underworld or the Shadowlands, with places like the Tempest, as well as the Stygian Isles, and things of that nature. So it really is a very unique and well thought out concept, but it certainly is a very different setting than what you're used to with World of Darkness. Not only that, this shit gets political. Not only is there the fact that you are a non-corporeal entity made of plasma, not only are you intrinsically at odds with at least one person in your group due to the fact that they are the manifestation of the bad side of you waiting for you to fail, but we also have the Stygian society that is built around 8 legions and at least 16 guilds, adding another dimension to this game set in the underworld. This game is truly an experience, and it certainly comes from the brainchild of someone who really wanted to accomplish something. Tragically, this game is going to get a miss, but before you turn off this video, I have more I want to say on this matter. I generally judge games on a crit or miss value based on the point of view of a non-induced fan picking up a book and giving it a go. In that instance, this game is just too out there and too challenging for someone who is new to World of Darkness or role-playing games in general to pick up and enjoy without severe conflict. However, there is a major silver lining to this game, and that is what I want to discuss right now. That discussion is the fact that if you have the right people, if you have the right storyteller, and if you all have the right mindset going into it, this game can be one of the best and most rewarding roleplay experiences of your life. So, in closing, what I really want to say is this, is that if you have the right storyteller who knows the setting and can really sell it, if you have the right players, if you are all in the right mindset, if you're in the right frame of mind for this game, and that frame of mind can be anything, but as long as you're fully aware of what you're getting into and what you want to accomplish with this game can be an extremely rewarding experience. It can be one of the best role-playing experiences that you've ever had. It really is an amazing concept. It's created by the creator of the original World of Darkness line. This guy knows how to create games and does an amazing job with this. However, if you aren't on the same page, get ready for any sort of fight because it's going to be a very long night after that.